By the time of the 4th century, Christianity in the Roman Empire had become quite visible. As before, Christians were a small persecuted minority, but now people in all walks of life were converting to Christianity. However, there would be one last great persecution under Diocletian. Diocletian was known as the first and only Roman emperor to ever resign his position. He did this and created a new system of government called the tetrarchy, which was basically him sharing power with 3 other emperors. They were Maximian, Galerius, and Constantius. Diocletian is said to have first become angry with the Christians when priests told him that they performed an unsuccessful augury because Christians were in the crowd making the sign of the cross. Because of this, in 297 AD, all soldiers and imperial officers were required to perform a sacrifice to display their loyalty. Some Christians resigned, some of them did just enough to show loyalty, and some of them openly refused to do a sacrifice, which led to them getting killed. In 303 AD, Diocletian's palace at Nicomedia was set on fire, and many people blamed Christian arsonists for this, and so a new wave of persecutions began. Unlike earlier persecutions, Christians weren't seeked out personally. Instead, the church and church leaders were targeted. All Christian scripture was to be burned, churches were to be destroyed, the one at Nicomedia being an example, and all church leaders were to be tortured until they resigned their faith or they died. The brutality of the persecution depended on where you were. In the eastern provinces, it was very brutal, but in western ones like Gaul and Britannia, the local officials were a lot less enthusiastic, and so the persecution was a lot less brutal. After Diocletian resigned, Galerius and Maximianus Dio continued the persecution. However, it was beginning to become apparent that the persecution wasn't working in stamping out the Christians, and so Galerius issued a decree saying that Christians were allowed to practice their faith. A year after the decree was issued, Maximianus continued to persecute the Christians since he blamed them for everything bad that happened in the Roman Empire, from wars to plagues. The Edict of Milan would end the persecution. It was issued by Licinius and the future first Christian Roman Emperor, Constantine I. Roman Christianity had a rocky relationship. However, Christianity won and eventually became the official religion of Rome under the Emperor Theodosius.